Hello world, it's your girl Young Starflower, and you know what it is. We back for part 2. Thank y'all so much for coming back. Thank you for the responses that I got from part 1. I wanted to keep it going. Y'all, I can't explain to y'all how good it feels to get that off my chest. Like, I've been holding off on this for so long unnecessarily, but that felt so good to just get it out there. Like, y'all, it's time. We need to build our community. Come on over, party over here. Woo, woo. Party over there. Woo, woo. Hey, y'all, I hope everything is well. And if you have not seen part 1, please go to my page and check out part 1. Finally escaping and leaving the JW community, my story. What led me to waking up. And yeah, I just wanted to continue on with my journey. So, boom, I was PMO, I guess, by the time I woke up and realized everything from Pioneer School. Physically and mentally out. I think that's the term. It's called PMO. Now, when I tell y'all, that's gonna be one of the hardest things to do because you know the truth and you start clocking, you know what I'm saying? You start clocking that T, seeing things that you know is not true, but you kind of have to like play this role because you know you're just not ready to make that jump yet. I mean, first of all, waking up is a complete change or shift in your life because especially if you were like me who was born into this organization, this is the only thing you believed. You didn't believe nothing else. Like, this was life. This wasn't just a religion, or I'm not just Christian. Like, this is my full identity, sense of self. Jehovah's Witness. I'm a Jehovah's Witness. I don't know about the rest of y'all. I don't know what's gonna happen with y'all. Y'all might not make it, but I'm gonna make it because I'm a JW. That's the mindset that you have when you're a Jehovah's Witness. Growing up in this organization, like, that is life. Everybody else doesn't know how to live life or is living a whole different sense of reality that you don't fully understand, but you really think that being a JW, like, that's it, that's the only way to live. So I went through my mental struggles, but I knew I didn't want to stay in it long because I'm like, the more I linger, like, I'm not really somebody who can tell a lie or live a lie. That's why I used to get disciplined in the past. So I knew like people was gonna know that something's off with me, so to speak. So I knew I didn't have long to get up on out of there, you know. But you got to come up with like an escape plan too, because y'all, they're not just gonna let you leave. Like, you know what I'm saying? They have like the elder body, your family and friends. Like, they're gonna do everything that they can to convince you to stay. You're not allowed to leave. If you do leave, they believe you as good as dead. So they're gonna try to really do everything in their power to prevent you from leaving this organization. And that's what I didn't want. I didn't want to be bombarded. So I was going to try to like transition slowly. It probably took me about 6 months, almost from like April to September. I would say September is when I really like, all right, I'm not going no more. So from April to September, I just started like not really showing up on my Zoom meetings as much. If I did show up, my screen is dark. I'm not commenting as much, not associating with the friends as much. But I did have a big friend group. So we were already like planning on going on this trip, this girls' trip in August. So I was like, crap, like, I think I already had paid my money. So I couldn't exit out of that one. So I'm like, okay, I really got to stay hush until this girls' trip is over. So I'm going about my normal life. And then we get to this girls' trip. And then I realized, like, I really don't want to be here, y'all. Like, it was like 10 of us, girls, sisters. And we booked like an Airbnb. And I'm not going to lie to y'all. Like, I just really felt like there was no Holy Spirit there with us. Like, we tried to do spiritual activities, even though we were nowhere near Kingdom Hall. We tried to like do spiritual activities together, but I just really felt like there was no Holy Spirit there. There was even one girl, I don't even know where she came from or whose friend she was, but she ended up on this trip with us. And I felt like she was being treated very poorly by the other sisters, kind of like outcasted. And it was just very awkward. It was kind of like a bullying situation, like Mean Girls. It was just very uncomfortable. And you know, people just started like drinking, crying a lot, sharing their stories with each other about like different stuff that they've been through. It was just so much stuff being purged. And I don't know if that's because I was waking up, so like I had this like light around me of like truth where it's like now people just like exposing themselves around me. But it really felt like that. It felt like everybody just was there to expose their dark secrets. It was so weird and strange, and that never happened to me before. So then I knew, like, okay, yeah, I really gotta go. I love y'all, but I gotta go. So basically told my friends, like, I love them. I didn't tell my parents yet, but I told my friends that I loved them and that it was time for me to go and that I just didn't want to be a Jehovah's Witness anymore. I don't think I told them why. And the only reason I didn't tell them why is because I was still working on my own faith or lack thereof about the organization. So I just kind of just told them, like, I can't live this life no more. It's too difficult for me. There's other things that I want to do in life. So yeah, I'm just gonna go. Y'all, so I had to pause the video for a second because I had realized that I was getting extremely emotional telling this story because I don't think I dealt with it with this part of I don't think I dealt with this part of it. Like he lost like a best friend that was like really close to me. But I think what pains me the most about this relationship, like she was the first person I told that I wanted to leave. And I just knew, like I had already always confided in her about so much other things. But so I just felt comfortable going to her, being the first person that I was gonna let know about my exit because I was gonna miss her the most probably. You know, we were like sisters, like, and I didn't want to lose her, but I knew that was the chance I had to take in order to leave and be free. But y'all, I'm not gonna lie, like the way she treated me after telling her that, like she treated me so poorly, and I allowed that type of treatment to myself when I didn't deserve it because I didn't do anything to harm her and I didn't do anything wrong. I was just trying to live my life for me, but I allowed her to treat me so poorly. Like when I would have never did those things to her. And no, I wouldn't have because I had a boss that I worked with that was this fellowship for a period of time and I never treated him any differently at work. Like, of course, you know, we weren't allowed to speak at the Kingdom Hall and things like that, but at work, I kept it strictly professional and I didn't let any of our worldly coworkers um, know that there were any changes or shift in our relationship professionally. Kept it the same. Didn't act strange or nothing like that, but you know, I actually managed her. I was her manager and she treated me so bad at work and I allowed it and it kind of frustrates me now thinking back on it because I should have stood up for myself more, especially in the workplace. You know, I could have gone to HR for that and I didn't. I just allowed the treatment because a lot of us JWs just allow things to happen to us that we shouldn't. So I still had that same energy and spirit within me of just allowing things that are not right to happen. Be of an example of what would Jesus do? Turn the other cheek, right? But when I think back, it was very hurtful because it's like she started to turn everyone against me that we worked with professionally. She created lies about me in the workplace so that my co-workers that I managed and helped and trained wouldn't trust me anymore and lose trust in me as their leader. And which it just became a very dark time. And you know, it's crazy because I worked hard for where I was at that company. I had been there for almost 10 years and I worked hard to get to where I was going. And I not gonna say she was a bad employee, but I had to convince them to hire her back because she was worked there before and wasn't that good. So I had to convince them to hire her back when she wanted to come back, and I told them, listen, I'll take the responsibility. I'll train her myself. So it's like all of that went through for her, and then she did that to me just because I shared with her that I wanted to leave, and she just turned on me and turned her back on me. instead of being compassionate and understanding and trying to figure out what I was going through. And I have a really good friend now who was a coworker who noticed how she was treating me, and I never even spoke up for myself, but she took notice of it, and she came to me. She asked me, "Hey, what's going on? I noticed this is going on," and I kind of explained about, I left the religion, so we aren't as close as we used to be. And she's like, "What? You should be supported through your journey and stuff." She was so supportive, and she chose to really stop associating with my ex best friend because she just couldn't respect the fact of she was telling lies within the workplace about me, and she knew like I was such of like a pure hearted soul, and that I would never do anything to harm anyone. Like I really am like a cool down to earth person. I could get along with anybody, like any race, any age. I meet people where they're at, and I'm accepting, and I have a big heart. And she knew that about me just by observing me. Like, we hadn't even become friends, me and this coworker, but she just knew that from observing me, and I managed her as well. And she respected me as a leader and noticed how my ex-best friend was treating me. And, that just made me feel good, like, that I'm doing the right thing and that I'm coming from a pure place and that I can't stop how they see me, but I can control how I see me, and I can learn to love on me. And that was the moment where I had to learn how to move unapologetically. And needless to say, this friend that I thought I had, this best friend I thought I had, the whole entire time judging me and treating me poorly, I found out later that she's sleeping with one of our other friends' husbands, and she ended up getting in some type of trouble for that later. And I had no idea that that's what she was doing. And I'm like, she was really coming down on me for me being honest. And here she's going sneaking around on her husband and, with our friend's husband, who's even younger than us. It's like, man, what a terrible example you're setting. At least I'm a real friend. I came to you. I seen you as a sister, more than a friend. But yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I didn't even realize I was gonna get emotional about that. It was a painful time. It was a painful time. And I hadn't even told my parents yet how I felt. I was dreading that because I knew I was gonna hurt them, and I didn't want to hurt them. Yeah. I don't want to make part 2 long and drawn out. I do wonder if I want to do a part 3, which I probably will do a part 3 and just tell y'all like how I gained my strength after leaving, what I needed to do. And I also do want to let y'all know if I am still JW in secret, or did I write a letter and exit. I do want to tell y'all a little bit about that story as well, because I know some of us have just faded out and some of us have took the like hard stance. So I want to share that story on which one I did. Let me know down in the comment section what y'all think, which one I did. What y'all think? If y'all made it this far, you know what I'm saying, put a star. I'm sorry this one got emotional. I felt like I was a little bit all over the place, but I appreciate y'all for sticking with me and rocking with me, joining the party. It wasn't like, it wasn't a lit party this time, but we still had a good time. And I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Peace.